Hello, I'm Mike. What do you do when you're vibe coding an app and then your AI gets stuck in a death loop, burning through all your credits, but it can't seem to fix your broken app? It's the #1 fear, I think, for any vibe coder. Well, today in this video, I'm going to show you 3 massive updates to some vibe coding platforms that are absolutely changing the game. And then I'll also reveal the secret escape hatch that lets you fix your problem for almost free. Let's get into it. Okay, first up, a map of the platforms we'll be using today. Up in the top left, easy to use. Then we'll hop over to Replit that sits nearly in the center ground, still being fairly easy to use, but offering you more control. And we might even speak a little bit about VibeOps again, as I did last week, when you want the pro-end solution for your app and full control over everything. You can take a little screenshot, and I'll probably share this on X later. Alright, with that out of the way, I'm going to build the same app in all 3 of these platforms and see how they work. So we'll use a very simple API called Ideogram Character, which has just been introduced in the last week or so. It allows you to get accurate character consistency from only one image. We'll start off in Lovable, and they just made agent mode their new default. This is huge. It means you have an AI agent at your disposal with every single prompt. So my app will be called My Vibe, and essentially when you log in, you'll upload a single reference photo, and then you'll be able to create different themes from that photo. So a version of you as a cyberpunk hero or an anime character by clicking Generate My Vibe. Now, it will use the Ideogram Character API. I'm going to use it via Replicate, and it will use the reference photo to build that image. Then you can save it to a gallery, and of course, it's going to involve a database as well with a vibes table linked to the current user. I'm not going to click any advanced options like Supabase, which is a database. I'm just giving this simple text prompt to Lovable and the other vibe coding platforms to see how far we get. So here we are. It's spinning up the preview, so now I just wait. So Lovable's already beginning to think this through and make a plan of action. And in fact, look, it already wants me to create Supabase before it goes any further. So I'll go ahead and do that by clicking this Manage Supabase button. Supabase is often known as backend as a service. It's where you store all the information about your users and even file storage such as images too. Lovable uses this, Bolt uses this, and Replit has its own custom solution, as we'll see later on. So I've just created a database called My Vibe Lovable, and now I'll be able to go here and connect the Supabase. Connect a project, select Create a Magic, and there's My Vibe Lovable. And you'll see as I clicked that, you can see Lovable has spun back into action and it's starting to connect my Supabase. Okay, presently Lovable generated me a blank app, so I think I need to put my prompt in again now that the Supabase is connected. Exactly the same prompt as before, asking Lovable to create My Vibe as the app. Okay, straight away, it wants to build the app with authentication, photo uploads, and AI image generation, so we'll approve the database changes. If we wanted to, we can look at the changes, and they're all listed here, but we'll just simply approve it because, well, Lovable is supposed to make things easy to use, and that's why it hides a lot of the complex changes that it's making. It's actually flashed up saying it wants to fix security warnings first, so we'll also approve that. Now it's asking me for my Replicate API key, and look at that in my account. I've made an API key for My Vibe. I'll copy the token, paste it into this secret box, and submit. And you can see now Lovable is getting to work and says, I'll create the core application with dark theme authentication and all requested features. This is pretty awesome. Can't wait to see what it comes up with. At the moment, Lovable's made quite a few tool calls already, and it's setting up my app. It keeps flashing between errors, but hopefully we'll get there soon. Okay, it's finished. It said I've made the My Vibe app, but at the moment I'm staring at a white screen. No, you didn't. I'm just staring at a white screen. Let's see if we can get that fixed. Hopefully, Lovable will get something up and running for me so I can actually test this out. But by the feedback it's given me, it does say it's set up the database and everything else. It says you're absolutely right, I need to fix the app TSX setup. While it does that, we can actually look in our database and we can look at the table editor to see it has indeed made the vibes table with the correct columns there, and it's also made a profiles table too. So that's good progress on the back end. And now it's wrapping up here. It says perfect, the app should work properly, and we're just waiting for it to render. Try refreshing the page. Nope, that's an error. This is not normal behavior. Let's click Try to Fix. It says, I see the issue, I found the problem. Okay, we have something that's usable, so let's sign up first of all using a test email and a password just to get into the app. Now, just got to check my email and confirm. With that done, I can sign in and look at this. This is all working. Okay, well, let's give it a test and see how this works. First of all, we'll upload a photo. This will be a photo of me. That will work perfectly. It seems to have accepted that, and now I can choose a vibe. So let's go for the cyberpunk hero. Now I'm going to click generate my vibe and see what happens. Okay, we got a failed to generate vibe, please try again. We can see here it is adding things to the database. We've got a reference photo URL, so it's clearly using storage. And if we look over here at storage, we can see reference photos are indeed stored in this folder. And there is this lovely image of me all stored away. So that's working. Authentication over here. Yep, I'm there as a user, which is great. Let's look at edge functions. And there is a generate character edge function. This is where I'm guessing it's falling over right now. If we look at the log here, it did try to execute, but we got an error as a response. And if we look at the code of the edge function, it might be because this is simply not calling the correct API. When I click generate my vibe, it says failed to generate vibe and doesn't work. I think it might be because you're not using the correct API. Please use this one. There's my prompt, and now we'll go over to Replicate, which obviously has the test playground, but it also has the API documentation, and as Lovable didn't search the web, we'll just copy this URL so it should be able to see that information and implement it correctly. There we go, we see it says, I see the issue, the Replicate model I'm using doesn't exist. So it's checking the Ideogram Character API, it's going to fix it for me, and hopefully in a matter of minutes, we'll have something working. Okay, it's already crawled the web using tools. If I pop these open, you'll see it actually fetched the contents of the URL that I gave to it, and now it can go ahead and implement everything in my Supabase, which indeed it seems to have done. And now we'll try generate my vibe again. Fantastic, it works. Look at this. I quite like that cyberpunk hero style. Now you can see the prompt that was used, the style, and I can even click to save it to my gallery. And with that done, we can click into my gallery, and there I am as a cyberpunk hero. I can go back home and I can try different styles such as an anime character. Yep, that works. It's not too bad. I can save that to the gallery if I like. All right, I'm logged in over here, and let's go for the fantasy warrior this time. Not too bad. If I like, I can save that to the gallery and click into my gallery, and now we can see my images that have been saved. This is pretty cool. Let's check out the database. First, if we look at the tables, we can see profiles has my profile only, and vibes has, yes, indeed, 2 generated vibes. But most importantly, we need to go to storage and make sure that everything is good here. So we've got my 1 reference photo, which is stored away inside reference photos. And then under generated vibes with the correct IDs, we've got vibe 1 and vibe 2. So this is great. About 20 minutes of work and really no technical knowledge required, and I've got an MVP product up. That is awesome. Now I could go ahead and add Stripe and monetize this app today. I've got to say that I really like the possibilities of this app and how easy it was to generate and use in the end. Just so you know, this app actually cost me 11.1 Lovable credits to build. I can actually publish it to the web as well. And if I go into settings, they've introduced a new analytics tab, meaning anything published through Lovable as a one-stop shop can also be monitored in terms of visitors and users to your app. Okay, with Lovable complete, we'll move along on the vibe coding spectrum to Bolt. Not to be outdone by Lovable, Bolt just launched Bolt Cloud. They've basically eliminated the need to worry about your backend. With a simple prompt like this one, their agent will now set up hosting, database, user accounts, and even payments for you. They've made it ridiculously fast to go from idea to deployment in just moments. So here is exactly the same prompt that I used with Lovable. We'll see how Bolt thinks things through. We can read those thoughts if we wish, or keep them hidden away. That's the thing. Bolt makes it easy to use, and it's saying it's going to set up a stunning My Vibe web app with all the features I've asked for. Now it's getting to work. Just so you know, when I started this project, I have 10.8 million tokens, and I'll let you know how many I have at the end. By the way, if you like what you see so far, throw a like and subscribe. I do videos like this weekly. Okay, look at this. It tells me it's created My Vibe, and to complete setup, I'll need to connect Supabase. That's the back end again, and it rightly knows I need to do that. Let's create My Vibe Bolt over here, generate a strong password, and make that Supabase. Okay, with that done, back to Bolt. It's telling me that in order to do it, I need to go to Integrations. I need to look for Supabase. Yep, here it is, My Vibe Bolt. Let's click it and connect the project. Okay, it's spun into action. It has connected my Supabase. It's deploying the edge functions now. So first of all, it wants to run some commands. Again, if I want, I can view them. I really don't need to. I'll just click Apply Changes. Now, with this all complete, we can actually, I suppose, give this a go, just as I did with the Lovable app. So let's type in a test email and, of course, a test password and sign up. And it's the same drill here. I need to confirm my email and sign in with those credentials. Now, you can see Bolt is already detecting a problem that I could attempt to fix, but I'm not going to worry about that now. We'll actually try out this My Vibe app and see if it works. So again, just like with Lovable, we'll upload an image of me, and the image upload is not working. So why don't we click Attempt Fix over here? While it's working away on the fixes, let's look at the database it set up. So we've got My Vibe Bolt, we can look at the table editor, and we can see there's a profiles table here. Funnily enough, no user is listed in there yet. The vibes table is also empty at the moment. Authentication does contain me as a user. Okay, it's doing some fixes over here. It wants me to apply more changes to my database, and I need to add storage policies for photos. So again, we need to click Attempt Fix. We've got a green tick, so let's try again. Let's upload my photo. And this time, yes, it's a little bit too close for comfort, but it's definitely uploaded. Clicking over to storage under reference photos, we can see that yes, indeed, Bolt did get that photo in there. So now we'll scroll down and choose the cyberpunk hero vibe. Let's stick with that and generate the vibe. And yeah, that's not me. So again, similar problem as Lovable. I didn't tell it exactly where the API was, so it just did something random. So again, we'll go back to the Replicate API page, copy the URL, and paste it in here. You didn't use the correct API, please use this one. Let's run that prompt and see if Bolt can fix it. And you'll immediately see it's going to work updating that edge function in Supabase to use the Ideogram Character API. It's also updating the README, so I know a little bit about what my app is using under the hood. But I also notice above here, it says, make sure to add your API token to your Supabase project's edge function secrets for this to work. Now, I've got to say, if I was a noob, I wouldn't know how to do that. Lovable did all of that for me, but as I've done this before, I can show you how it works. So we're in Supabase, we need to go to edge functions, we need to click secrets, and now under key, we'll paste in replicate underscore API underscore token exactly as asked, and I'll paste in that secret key there and save it. Would have been nice if Bolt could have done that for me, but let's try it again. Without attempting to fix this potential error, I'm just going to click this generate my vibe again. Nope, we're not getting a vibe at the moment, so let's attempt to fix. Interestingly, Bolt refreshed my project but said this is not something I can fix through code changes, so we're definitely having more of a struggle here. But let's just try generate my vibe again and see if the refresh fixed it. Nope, could you configure your replicate API token? I already did put the key in there. I'm starting to get stuck in an AI death loop. I definitely know what I'm doing. The replicate API token is there and it's hashed now into my secrets. Let's click attempt fix again. Okay, it seems that it didn't update the Replicate API to use the Ideogram Character API. Now it says it's done it. So finally, please generate my vibe. No, more errors. This is infuriating. And if I pop this error open, I've no idea what it's trying to do, but we'll just attempt to fix. Okay, it says it should resolve the error. Let's try one more time. Nope, another error. I am definitely in an AI death loop here. Now, we could try and fix that later on in the video, but I'm starting to wonder if Bolt actually read the URL that I gave it with all the API details for the Ideogram character generator. Just in case it didn't, I'm actually going to copy the contents of this page and give Bolt a chance by pasting in all the details on the model and say, I don't think you're doing this correctly. Please use these details and fix my API. There we go. There's all the details pasted into the chat window, and we'll see if Bolt can actually fix this for me. Well, within moments, it says it's done it, so let's try one more time. And we can actually look at the logs here and see we're getting a bunch of errors. Just so you know, in this build so far, I went from 10.8 million tokens to 10.6 million tokens. And by the way, while we're at it, can we get vibe coding tools to standardize token counts? Millions of tokens on Bolt versus hundreds of tokens on Lovable? I'm really confused. All right, despite getting a really nice looking app here, like I really like the look of this app, no matter what I do, even if I change the character that I'm generating, I just cannot get it to work without errors. So we shall now journey to nearly the middle of our map here with Replit, hitting almost the center for ease of use and more control. Let's try the all-in-one solution, Replit. Now, it's actually a timely moment to test Replit because not only do they have database, auth, all taken care of inside the Replit ecosystem, but just this week they added storage as well that lets their AI agent automatically handle large files, which will be perfect for my app. So let's paste into the Replit agent exactly the same prompt as I used in Lovable and Bolt. We won't touch any settings, we won't change auto or anything like that. We'll leave it as is and click Start Building. And here we go. We've got the tech stack being created, initial version coming out. It's going to use Replicate's Ideogram API and gallery storage as well. It definitely seems to understand everything. Now it's designing a visual preview for me by writing a bit of code. Now we can see my designer is mocking up a quick plan with generate, my gallery, login screen. It's also adding in a place here for the reference photo. And finally, we got a big generate my vibe button at the bottom. It took 1 minute to come up with that plan. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to approve the plan. Let's get going with this. And I've got to say, already I have an MVP on my screen. That is the fastest of any of the tools so far to come up with a plan and actually get me something visual on the screen to work with. Okay, you can see it's also made a quick prototype and tested this out, and it's also creating more auth files as well at the same time. Another cool thing about the Replit agent is it tells me on my phone what it's doing if I've got the app installed, meaning I can go off and do other things. You can see it gives you the option to get notified when your app is ready, and now it's just finishing up making the last files, and this mock-up will turn into a real live app. You see all the integrations and packages are getting installed here. You can also see it's notified me that it made a database. This is included in Replit, so it's not something external like Supabase. Okay, look at this. To enable the AI character generation, it needs my Replicate API token. It's brilliant because I've got that. I can paste and continue. And you'll see I have a live preview here and the ability to sign in with Replit Auth. Yes, it appears Replit take care of the authorization process, so no Supabase or external tools for that either. So let's open a preview window and test logging in with Replit Auth, their own login solution. Now you see it wants to connect to my account. I can click allow. And here we are, ready to use the app. So I'm going to browse and drag and drop my photo in here, upload this file. With that done, I now have a successful upload. I can choose a vibe. I quite like this. I'll go for the cyberpunk hero again and click generate my vibe. Now you can see it failed to generate the character. I'll go ahead and feed it the details it needs to get this hooked up. In a new chat with Replit Agent, I'll just say, API is not working. Please use this one. And then we'll go over to the API, copy the URL, paste it. And this is really cool. We can actually grab the text content straight inside the chat box. That's a handy feature. And once that's connected, we'll just click go. Now you'll notice it saved the changes, so I can always roll back if there's a problem. Now you'll see it's smart enough to know that I should have a Replicate package installed, and it's going ahead and doing that for me. The Replicate API token is set because it asked me for that before, and now it's making sure everything is updated so that my app will actually work. Okay, let's give this a test. Now we've refreshed, we'll go for Modern Superhero. And look at that, not too bad at all. And you'll also notice with Replit, all along the way, it tells you in real money how much the agent cost for each call. And if I look at the billing on my Replit account, I can see in total I've paid $3 to make this app. Another cool thing about Replit is the database is actually created inside your account, so no external tools. You can see sessions, user tables. This is where you can get more complexity if you want it. You can go into the console, view the logs that your app generates, which is really handy as you become more advanced. You can also go to Auth and you can check out users that signed up to your app. Again, all taken care of by Replit Auth. And you'll see there's a deployment icon, and I can actually deploy this right on Replit servers as well, so people can start to access my app publicly. So we've essentially migrated from easy to use with less control all the way to the middle, but what about the far end, VibeOps, which is full control but complex to use? As we discussed last week, and you can go and watch that video to see how VibeOps works, it's the most comprehensive path. You have full control, full ownership, zero vendor lock-in. It is the most complex path, but it's the future for building mission-critical apps that you own completely. Okay, but no matter what platform you use, Lovable, Bolt, Replit, you're eventually going to hit a wall. Just like my Ship Your App students Garen and Holly did. You're stuck, the AI is running in circles, and you're burning through credits. What do? You use the escape hatch. Here's what you do. First, you sync your project to GitHub. This gets your code out of the platform and into a safe space. Once that's done, you'll see all of your code is stored inside Git, including this lovely README file that gives instructions to any other AI as to how your app works. Next, we'll give it access to a senior developer, an autonomous AI agent like OpenAI Codex. I'll just create an environment here, choose the My Vibe repository I just synced. No need to enter any other details, we'll just create the environment. Now here in OpenAI Codex, I select the My Vibe repo. I'll just say, API doesn't seem to work, please fix it. And then click Code. Now you'll see my autonomous AI agent goes off to work on my task. It's going to set up its own environment in the cloud to try and fix all of my problems. The beauty of this is it's included in my ChatGPT Plus account, and I can walk off and do other things until this agent completes its work. Okay, this is brilliant. After 3 minutes and 40 seconds, I've got a summary from my AI agent, OpenAI Codex, that it's made some changes to some of the files. I'm ready to merge this back into my app and test. Now, because this is linked to my GitHub, I just click Create PR, which is Create Pull Request. When that's done, I can click View PR, which is View the Pull Request. And here are the changes and updates that have been made. Now, hopefully you'll have no conflicts. Otherwise, it gets a little complex. If that's so, then we just merge the request, we confirm, and if we like, we can delete the branch that Codex made to fix that error. Now, seeing as Bolt syncs our Git under the hood, we should be able to go back to Bolt, get that little update that was made, and hopefully things are working. Okay, now the app's updated. Let's go ahead and select Space Pirate, click Generate My Vibe, and boom, look at that. That's a pretty mean Space Pirate, if you ask me. Let's go ahead and save it to the gallery, and now I can view it over here. The fix has been pulled back into Bolt, the death loop is broken, problem solved, and 0 credits wasted. So there you go. The escape loop isn't just a cool trick, it's actually a real-world skill that's needed when you're building AI-powered apps, especially with vibe coding. It's just the kind of stuff that I teach in my Ship Your App in 4 weeks cohort, and the next one starts very soon indeed. In fact, down below, there's a registration link, and I would absolutely love to see you there. I'll take you from initial idea all the way through to your first build, monetization, and marketing of your app. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed it, and let me know what you're using to vibe code. Are you up to the easy to use and less control, or are you all the way over at VibeOps with the very hard to use but more control? Where are you on the vibe coding spectrum right now? Thank you so much for watching. Hit like and share the video if you learned something, and YouTube is showing a video on your screen now you should watch next. Thanks.